What's on, ladies and gentlemen? My name's Ross, I like games, and today we are continuing our look at every new card from EX-01. It's time to look at some lovely yellow Digimon. Like before, we have got to that stage where all the cards have been revealed, so we're switching tacks a little bit as we tend to do. We are looking at more cards per video, so we can get through them all in a nice timely manner. So, Electmon then. Well, we've got a free cost to play normally, 0 cost to Digivolve, 2000 power. That is overwhelmingly standard for a level 3 that's got a decent skill. Also, fun fact, we've seen Electmon in purple and in blue. We've not actually seen Electmon in yellow yet, so congratulations to Electmon for finding its way into a third colour. I don't know why I enjoy things like that, but I quite like it. You know, it's getting around a little bit, getting into a third colour. These things make me happy. But is it actually any good? Well, what we've got here, and I should say translations from the lovely folks at digimoncard.dev, we've got one inheritable skill. When it is deleted, one of your opponent's Digimon gains security attack -1 until the end of your opponent's next turn. And I like this a lot. And we've seen security attack -1 on a bunch of yellow Digimon before, and admittedly, it's not ended up being a particularly powerhouse skill, but I really enjoy this, because it's the kind of thing where it can win you the game. Like, if your opponent needs to attack with one more Digimon to win the game, but you've given that Digimon security attack -1, well, they can't do that. You can slow them down. I mean, at its best, this buys you a turn. And when it buys you a turn, that can often be the difference. Like, we've all played a bunch of games of Digimon at this stage, I'm assuming. And that means that we've all seen over and over again, ah, man, I would have won if I'd have had one more turn. Well, congratulations, ladies and gentlemen. This is how you go about getting that one more turn. It's good news, ladies and gentlemen. It's wonderful, wonderful news. Now, as well as Electmon here, we've got a nice new Patamon. Who doesn't love Patamon? Again, we got that same free cost to play normally, 0 cost to Digivolve, 2000 power. It's extremely standard for a level 3. And when you play, you reveal the top 4 cards of your deck, and you add one Digimon with Angel, Archangel, or 3 Great Angels in their type to your hand, placing the remaining cards at the bottom of your deck in any order. So you're looking at 4 cards here. So generally speaking, if you're playing enough of these Angel cards, you should feel fairly confident that this will essentially draw you a card. And the fact of the matter is, there are a bunch of options here. A bunch of options. Any Salomon card will work very nicely here. Loosemon will work very nicely here. All the Angewomons and Magnadramon and Angewomon and anything with Angel in their name, they will all work. Cherubimon from BT3, that works very nicely. We have got a whole bunch of options here. So yeah, this is good, ladies and gentlemen. This is really good. It's one of those cards where it's very difficult to really start looking at exactly all the different ways it can be used, not unless we just pivot and I do an entire video just on this Patamon. But the fact of the matter is, any deck that is built around a Salomon or a Cherubimon or any of the other ones I've mentioned, this has got to be a very, very strong contender. Because essentially, it just gives you way more consistency. Because if you're playing, and again, if you're not playing enough of these cards, don't do it. But if you're playing enough of these cards, all you really need to do is put 4 of these in your deck, and then as you play it, you're going to get yourself an extra card. And we all saw that the Gabumon from BT1, when you play it, you draw a card. That saw a huge amount of play. The Tentamon from the starter deck. Now, that doesn't necessarily draw you a card, but it's got that lovely skill whereby when you play it, you get to reveal the top card of your deck, and if it's a green Digimon, you add it to your hand, which a lot of the time it will be, and that sees a huge amount of play. Now, this isn't for every yellow deck. It is only for the yellow decks that are playing your Angels, your Archangels, or your 3 Great Angels. But as long as you are playing those kind of things, yeah, you're going to be absolutely fine, ladies and gentlemen. You are going to be absolutely fine. I love this card. In that kind of deck, you should expect to see it a bunch. Now, we also have a new Salomon coming in, and again, we've got the exact same stats here. 3 cost to play normally, 0 cost to Digivolve, 2,000 power, everything exactly as we would expect. And what we've got here is an inheritable skill once per turn when you are attacking. If you've got 3 or more security cards, you draw 1. And draw power is good. And I'm going to be perfectly honest with you. We don't have a huge amount of draw in yellow. There are some, don't get me wrong. I am a huge fan of the Patamon, that if you got 3 or more security cards when you play it, you draw a card. Incidentally, that's when you play, this is when you attack. But they're both kind of similar in the whole, 3 or more. And then we've got, Patamon, if you've got 3 or fewer security. When you attack, you get to draw a card. Labramon's got an inheritable skill. If you reduce a Digimon's power down to 0, you get to draw a card, which is all right. Kudamon, if you've got 4 or fewer cards in hand, when you attack, you draw a card. And then we've got the Agamon, if you have 3 or more yellow tamers when attacking, you get to draw a card. So there are some ways, but you'll notice none of those ways I just mentioned are particularly great or trustworthy. Like, they'll work sometimes, but it's not exactly like you can just always play these and guarantee them. So I like this. I think this is just another really good way to get draw. Now, obviously, if you really want to make the most of it, you want to make sure that you are having 3 or more security cards for pretty much the entirety of the game. So you need to get the recovery going on. But it's yellow. Yellow plays recovery. Like, that's their super secret skill. It's not even really a secret at this stage. It's just what they do. But yellow love this. Yellow absolutely love this. And if you're playing yellow, a lot of what you're probably going to be trying to do here is recover your security. So if you're playing a yellow recovery deck, which a lot of you will be, this is going to be extra draw power throughout the game. It is absolutely something to keep an eye on. Now, we said we need to be playing around with Angels a little bit for some of these cards. Well, how about Angewomon? 6 cost to play normally, 2 cost to Digivolve, 6,000 power. For a level 4, 6 to play is slightly high and 6,000 power is slightly high, but it's not unusual, just on the higher end. And we got an inheritable skill. When you are attacking once per turn, if you've got 3 or more security, gain 1,000 power. Now, obviously, this is back in one of those recovery decks like we just talked about. Salomon, you get to draw a card. Here, you get an extra 1,000 power. They want you to have 3 or more security. Think something like the Magnadramon from BT2 that sees a bunch of play. Because when you play it, if you got 3 or fewer security, you get to recover 2. So that is one that is going to help you, jump back up pretty gosh darn quickly. We actually got it in Booster 1.0 and it's seen a bunch of play. We've got a bunch of recovery cards and it's a similar kind of deal. But whereas I look at Salomon and I'm like, drawing an extra card is really good, that's a huge advantage, I look at this and I'm like, extra 1,000 power is fine, but we got plenty of ways to get extra power all over the place. It doesn't impress me quite as much. But speaking of Magnadramon, there's a new Magnadramon. Now, we've got a 12 cost to play normally, 3 cost to Digivolve, 11,000 power. So it's slightly more expensive to play just from your hand. We'd expect 11, 3, 11, but it's nothing terrifying. When you Digivolve, you may trash the top card of your security to unsuspend this Digimon. Now, on the one hand, I love it. On the other hand, that's kind of terrifying, right? Now, the good news is, unsuspending is great. It is super powerful. It means you get to attack twice rather than once. That's clearly a brilliant, brilliant thing to do. However, 11,000 power is a little bit less than I would like. It's not terrifyingly low. It's okay. We will be fine. But I would like 12 or 13 to really give us a better chance of surviving here. Again, it's not panic stations, but I'd like a bit more. But then again, let's just be happy for a moment because we get to unsuspend. And we get to do an extra attack. And this is clearly a brilliant, brilliant thing. And if you're really worried about, losing that security card, might I introduce you to the second skill? When you are attacking once per turn, if you have 3 or fewer security, you may trigger recovery +1. So, if you've got 4 security or fewer, you don't really give up a security card. So you Digivolve, you trash the top card of your deck, you unsuspend, but then you attack and you get it right back, but you're still unsuspended. Of course, we do have that awkward thing going on that we do see sometimes, whereby you essentially, you unsuspend when you Digivolve into your level 6, so you kind of want to attack with your level 5 when you're sure you're not going to be deleted, and that's up to you, yeah? Don't be blindly attacking into the stack with an underpowered level 5, thinking you'll just unsuspend when you Digivolve up to Magnadramon, only to see it all go wrong. That's on you, ladies and gentlemen. That's on you. Alrighty then. There's a lot of Digimon here. And I like these, incidentally. I think these are cool. That Magnadramon, I think, has a whole bunch of potential. But I want to know what you think. So let me know in the comment section, would ya? Go nuts! Be nice! And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at TheWasi. That's where we talk Digimon and a whole bunch of other card games. And please do consider checking out patreon.com/PTCGradio, where you can support the channel, get some bonus podcasts and all kinds of fun things. But by far the most important thing as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching WASI Plays.